first group of Chinese travelers on Air China touched down at the OR Tambo International Airport in 3 years. The airline has resumed its services for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic. The group received a warm welcome in true South African style.
This is absolutely important. This is all about economic contribution. Tourism is one of the biggest economic contributors, and through this flight coming into South Africa now, it's opening a market for us from a tourism point of view, investment point of view, but also, as you're saying, contributing to the economy. So we are very, very excited that this is happening.
South Africa is a big exporter of commodities such as coal, iron ore and other agricultural commodities to China. The two nations say COVID-19 has hampered economic growth, but the resumption of Air China flights is set to come with much needed interventions.
The relations between our two countries, I think, is all across the board, but it mainly consists of many points. Economic and trade cooperation, that part is enormous. During the past 3 years, everything is going on a downslope. But the trade between China and South Africa goes up. It grew by 5%, which is not terribly huge, but is one of the few positive growths on global economic data. We have more than 200 Chinese companies investing in South Africa, and the majority of those companies are headquartered in the proud city of Joburg.
The Gauteng province contributes about 35% to the country's GDP, with the province saying the lion's share of this comes from travel and tourism. The province has also welcomed travelers from China.
The confidence that is demonstrated here today is with a 3 times a week flight schedule, and that is exactly what we had pre-COVID. We would like to see that increase to 2 more so that you have 5 flights a week touching down. But over and above this, it opens the whole of Southeast Asia, and we can now look forward to increases in our GDP and more jobs for South Africans.
South Africa chairs the BRICS group this year, with tourists from member countries expected to attend the summit in August. SA Tourism says more routes will be unlocked to also ensure that domestic tourism revenue recovers to pre-pandemic levels.
What we will do with South African tourism as an agency that is mandated to market South Africa internationally and domestically, we are going to be leveraging 2 major events in 2023 that are very relevant for the Chinese market. One is the 57th World Table Tennis Championships that is in May, as well as the BRICS Summit in August that will be happening in South Africa. So we'll leverage on these and make sure that we maximize and capitalize on these 2 events.
Officials say the reopening of routes is done cautiously as the COVID-19 pandemic is still in place. This comes as various heads of states who visited South Africa, including Belgium and Zambian officials, have expressed plans to connect their countries to South Africa. China and SA delegates have vowed to expand exchange and cooperation, this in governance, economic and legislation areas, with the aim being to see this route fully open for 5 days. Locals also encouraged to visit China on the now eased visa processes in a bid to restore the two-way personal and economic exchanges between the two nations at a faster pace. Katlego Logodi, SABC News at the OR Tambo International Airport.